Somewhere right now, in a room colder than your kitchen, a machine is answering a question you asked it. No fanfare, no spinning logo. Just silicon, a status light, and a few seconds of electricity spent thinking. Here's the number that actually matters first. A single plain text question to a modern chatbot costs somewhere around 0.3 of a watt-hour. That is roughly what your air conditioner burns in about 7 seconds. On its own, that is close to nothing. You may have seen the viral claim that one AI query burns 10 times what a Google search does. That number does not hold up anymore. The honest comparison today is closer to 7 times, still more, but not the dramatic gap the headlines wanted. One prompt is a rounding error sitting quietly inside your own home's power bill. And that number moves depending on what you actually ask for. A quick text answer sits under half a watt-hour. Ask it to reason through a hard problem, and the cost creeps toward 2 watt-hours. Ask it to generate an image, and you are spending 2 to 5 watt-hours in a single request. Every kind of question has its own electricity bill, and almost none of them are dramatic alone. But nobody asks one question. Across just the most popular assistants, well over 1 billion prompts are landing every single day. Each one is that same tiny, forgettable sliver of power, individually harmless, repeated 1 billion times before you go to sleep tonight. Multiply a rounding error by 1 billion every day, and it stops rounding to 0. Gartner's own forecast puts global data center electricity use at roughly 565 terawatt-hours this year, up 26% from 447 terawatt-hours just last year. That is not a rounding error anymore. That is a number with its own gravity. It shows up in raw power demand too. Worldwide data center electricity demand is projected to climb from about 104 gigawatts last year to roughly 132 gigawatts this year. And the same forecasts put it near 290 gigawatts by the end of the decade. That is new power plant scale capacity, not a software update. The machines actually doing the asking and answering are the fastest growing slice of that load. AI-optimized servers already account for close to 1/3 of total data center power consumption this year. By next year, analysts expect them to draw more electricity than every ordinary non-AI server in the building, combined. This is why utilities aren't waiting for 2030 to raise the alarm. They are warning right now that new power plant and transmission construction cannot keep pace with the demand these data centers already have on the books. That is not a hypothetical model of the future. It is a construction schedule this year for real substations, tied to real electric bills in the towns nearby. Your one question was never the problem. It genuinely costs almost nothing. The problem is that 1 billion tiny, harmless questions never stop arriving, every hour, every day, and the curve underneath them is climbing faster than the grid built to carry it. That's the part worth watching, not the query. The curve.